Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Morning Talks with Ro. How are you? How did your Monday go? I know I missed you guys. Did you get your morning drink so that we can come in, chill out with each other, and chop it up about what's real, about what can move the needle of progress in our lives, what can heal us from a spiritual and soul level? Did you come ready to talk today? I think I have something that's going to be pretty powerful for us to exchange about. And if you want to join in on the conversation, please do, so that we can keep the wheels turning. We can really bless each other in the space because we're sharing on this level. Today, we're going to talk about the power of visualization. And whether you want to acknowledge it or not, it is working in our lives. It is working. And I am going to tell you a story that is true about just how powerful what I'm saying is. And it just happened. Good morning. Let me say hello before I get started. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Morning Talks with Ro. Did you win the morning? Did you get up and start your day the way you wanted to start your day? Did you put your focus in the direction of what you want to achieve for yourself? Did you wake up and pick up your distractions? Or did you wake up and go into your morning routine for success? Have you created a morning routine for success? Our routines are what are giving us our results. You may have a routine for failure because you haven't planned to be successful, because you haven't put habits in your life that will enable you to be successful. So what did you do when you got up this morning? You know, I always like to ask this because it's so important. It is so crucial to our ability to trim away the distractions, to tap into our commodity, which is focus, and put our attention in the direction of the things we'd like to achieve. Because as I always say, there is something or someone else out there that is willing to take that attention and do with it what they want. So I say take your own stuff and make it happen. Let's see who's in the spot. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Morning Talks with Ro. Tiffany says she won. Hey, how are they still texting me? And I thought I put it on Do Not Disturb. Y'all gonna have to roll with your girl. I didn't put it on Do Not Disturb. Rhona, good morning. Amber, good morning. I got some serious loved ones in here. Matthew, Charles, Shirley, Trey, Daniel, Kirsty. Good morning, you guys. Stone is in here. Oh my goodness. So good to see your faces. Shyest is here. Good morning. All right. Good morning. Everybody who says I'm winning. Amber says she's winning. Awesome. Do you believe visualization can heal illnesses? Yes, I do believe it is a huge part of healing. And I can share about that as well. After a gong show of a day yesterday, I woke up with gratitude. Today is going to be fabulous. That's right, baby. Claim it. Claim it. We have those days. Listening to you for some B-Day inspiration. Happy birthday, DZ. Happy birthday. Good morning to the one and only. Hey, now, good morning, you guys. So did you get your morning drink? Did you come ready to talk about the power of visualization? Let me share something with you guys. So I have a buddy that we were talking, and he shared with me one day how he gets pumped up and stays motivated for his workouts, okay? And so we're talking about how he stays pumped up and worked out, motivated for his workouts. And he says, I imagine that I'm in a jail yard and I'm like pumping weights in the jail yard. And I was like, wait, what? You imagine you're in a jail yard and you pump weights in the jail yard? I said, okay, I would not be your friend if I did not tell you that that is dangerous, what you're doing. I said, do you understand the power of visualization? I said, you are in a peak state when you are working out. You are pushing yourself to the limit, which means that you are mustering up everything, all the energy that you have in that moment to focus on giving yourself the energy and the strength, right, to push these weights up and to build the muscle and to build the body that you're looking for. You have a lot of passion here, right? So I said, you have a lot of energy that is creative right there. Please please hear me when I say that you are playing with fire. I highly recommend that you don't do that. And we pretty much had like an exchange for a cool minute. We didn't argue or anything. It was just that I loved him, and I was like, dude, I'm not comfortable with you doing that. And he went back and forth with me. Nah, you know, Ro, no, it's just a workout. I just use it for motivation. I said, I'm telling you, I have created a lot of things via visualization. I study other technicians who use visualization. You gotta be careful with where you're putting your thoughts, especially in a peak state of being. Especially when you're operating in a high energy or high frequency state of yourself. If you're not careful, you can transport yourself there. And he's like thinking, there's nothing happening in my life right now that would put me in jail. So why would what do you mean? Would you like to know that he went to jail a month ago? And I didn't even make the connection because we had gotten far removed from that conversation. It had been months, right, since we talked. Next thing you know, I get a call. I get reached out to by someone saying, hey, such and such is in jail. And I'm like, what? What do you mean? What happened? How? And then he just got out. Right? Yeah, hit me with the wows. He just got out and he says, Ro, he was in there for over a month. Yeah. He says, Ro, all I could do is think about what you told me. I was like, I couldn't even remember what he was talking about. I had moved on from the conversation. I said, well, what did I tell you? He says, you remember when we talked about, you know, how I work out and the motivation I use? I said, oh, everything just clicked. And I was like, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Do you hear me now? Do you hear me now? So I'm here to tell you folks, whether you work it for your good or your negative, it's working. And especially if and when you put yourself in a peak state of emotional being, a peak emotional state of being. So if you're operating at a high level of energy, whether it's anger, whether it's joy, whether it's enthusiasm, whether it's fear, all of those emotions can be channeled into a peak state of being. And whatever you're thinking in those moments, if you do it frequently enough, you can manifest these things. This is where it comes into you being an alchemist. We are alchemists. This is how powerful we are. Now, somebody could say that, oh, that's just a coincidence. And if that's what you choose to believe, that's okay too. But how ironic is that? I felt passionate about telling him, please don't do that. Something was all over me like, yo, you're playing with fire. That's dangerous. Don't do that. I'm telling you, I know the power of visualization. I'm telling you, I use visualization to create. Please be careful. How do we know that wasn't his warning? I don't know. But what I am here to tell you this morning is he just got out a couple days ago, on some random craziness ended up in there. And I said, we don't need to know the how. I said, you don't need to know the how. All I know is that you can put something out there, and if you do it frequently enough, and especially in a peak state of being, it can eventually manifest. Now, we don't know the when, right? We don't know the how, but it can happen. Look at that. Let me see what you guys are saying. My goodness. Okay, good morning, everybody who just joined the conversation. This is Morning Talks with Ro. I'm trying to go backwards in your comments so I can make sure that I catch what you guys are saying. Okay, good morning, Marcus. I know the mind is very powerful. Bingo, your mouth is the most dangerous tool. It's one of them, that's for sure. Let's see, Marcus says the mind is so beautiful. Isn't it beautiful? When we use it to for our good. My aunt, hey Jackie, says, I hear you right now. I needed to challenge some anger regarding, yes, bless up, auntie. Shyest, wasn't it deep, babe? Wasn't it deep? I didn't even remember the conversation. He said that's all I kept thinking about when he was there. I said, now we're going to respect, right, even more the power that we may possess via visualization and the things that we say. You know, as people say, speak it into existence. So I want to ask you guys a question this morning. What are you thinking on a regular basis that could be contributing to the results that you see in your life right now? It may be a good thing, right? Whatever you're thinking or doing may be producing good results. But you also may be doing something, thinking, speaking something regularly in a peak state, whether the peak state is anger or sadness or worry or doubt or fear or whatever those emotions are, and it's producing results that you don't like. Who's doing that this morning? Good morning, Khaldun. Good morning, good morning. Welcome to Morning Talks with Ro, everybody. Who's doing that? You want to be honest and put it in the chat? And do you want to share with us your results from the things that you're doing? It could be on the positive end, it could be on the negative end. But what we want to do is point out the power of visualization, especially when you are at an emotional peak state and you do it over and over again. This is why I like to teach how we are creatures of habit, and how it's so powerful that if you want to create something, go into your mind's eye. Go into your imagination and live there. And the more that you can bring your emotion, a peak state of being, enthusiasm. What's the emotion that's there? Is it joy? Is it excitement? Is it beauty? Is it enchantment? Get creative with your words even, so that you can color your picture even better, so that you can put yourself there emotionally as best you can. Because I am learning more and more through watching other people create. We are alchemists. Have you ever read the book, The Alchemist, by Paulo Coelho? Is that his name, Paulo Coelho? I read it years and years ago. Very powerful book, sold millions and millions around the world. Talks about being an alchemist. It's through a story, but it's basically giving you some life tools and principles in there that speaks to our abilities, if we believe it so, and if we just pay attention, right? If we just pay attention to our results and we go into the things, the habits that we have, what have our habits been producing in our lives? Let's see what you guys are saying. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the conversation. Okay, hey Bianca, can't stay long. Time to go. Beast in the gym. Bless up with my beautiful Dorla. Love you back, babe. Thank you for joining in. Legendary status is all I think. That's the way I'm not allowing any old hurts to sneak in and disrupt my flow. I heard that. Yes, I was so insecure and did not see your goals anymore, but now you're back on track. Beautiful. Tiffany knows it's an amazing book. Daniel says, our mindsets are the blueprints to how we live life. So when our mindsets are turned or tuned into a particular narrative, our subconscious begins to pull the strings of that narrative. Speak, honey. Speak. Let's see. So there are many times we have to pause and release or reassess our blueprints. Very well said, Daniel. Good morning, Dana. Good morning, dear. Very good to see you in the chat. Might be a little shiny this morning. Very well said, Daniel. The subconscious mind, it's you know, I bring up this thing that I like to speak about when we talk about science. And, you know, I brought it up last week, I think, about going out and looking at cars, right? You go in and somebody says, go look at the cars outside. You see everything that's passing by. The white Nissan, the blue Range Rover, the yellow school bus that just passed me, this Mitsubishi taupe color, this silver you know, Cadillac truck that's coming by, right? And then they say, now, I only want you to focus on red cars. So now the brain starts to tune out everything else and look for red cars. And then you say, well, did you see the black truck that just pulled into the parking lot over there? You're like, no, I was focusing on red cars. That's how powerful we are. So I want you to start focusing. I highly recommend you start focusing on what it is you really want to create in your life. Tune out the other stuff. How do you tune it out? Focus on it. Bring it into your visualization. Bring the best. What would you feel like if the picture that you have in your mind is manifested? What is the emotion that is in that place? And then can you bring that emotion into that place while you're focusing, and do it all the time, every day? Carve out some time. This is in your routine for success. You are an alchemist. You are a creator. You are a manifester. Bring this into your daily practice. And then what would it do to your conscious mind, what it's looking for? Your subconscious mind that's always going to be looking for, how do I start to connect the dots so that where I am gets to where I want to be? That's what's happening. The science behind it. At least a metaphysician, people into metaphysics would say it's happening like that. And then go study other people that tell you how they create stuff. That tell you they may not even be aware. They may be unconsciously doing it. And they'll say, I just dreamed about it all the time. I just saw it all the time. I just saw myself there. I just believed I had it. I just carried an Auto Trader book with the car that I wanted. I used to look at it all the time. I remember that just brought me back to my own thought, my own manifestation. Back in the day, I wanted the Mitsubishi 3000 GT. You guys remember that car? It was a sports car. Mitsubishi 3000 GT. That's probably the only car I've really ever wanted so bad. I was like, I want that car. When I saw that car, I was like, man, I want that car. I want that car. And then I went and got, I saw one of those ads in the paper. This was back in the day. It was like coming off of the Mouse Club. And I was like, I want that car. I kept seeing it. Every time I saw it, I would fantasize about it. I got I got this little paper that they had in the paper. And then I saw my car in there. Talk about bringing it to me. I wasn't even thinking about it, right? I was unconsciously doing this. Brought the car to me. I was like, oh, it's on sale. I looked at it again. And I used to look at that little paper. And I used to imagine myself in the car. Didn't even know I was going to share this. I totally forgot. Imagine myself in the car all the time. Guess who went and bought that car? One day, I just decided, I was like, oh, and I had my money saved up and went and bought the car. Got the car. I never wanted anything, I can't remember desiring something so much. But because I believed I somehow could get it, I didn't know when, how, whatever. I just always imagined having it. I always spoke so highly about it. I always thought it was so dope and so sleek and so fly and so this and that. Now the images of it would just come to me. Every time I was on the road, I would see it in my mind. Red cars, right? It wasn't red, but I'm just saying that analogy I just shared with you. I would see it all the time. Every time it passed on the streets, I would see it. I'd be like, oh, there's my car. There's my car. There's my car. And then I got it. I was unconsciously doing that. This is what we can do in our lives. However, a lot of the times we're so distracted. We're so lacking the focus necessary to create. We're so lacking the discipline to stay consistent and persistent with our visions and our language. That's the work. A lot of the work that you're looking at is so intangible. It's the inside job that really creates. It's the focus we have. It's the words we're using on a regular basis. It's the visions we're allowing ourselves to turn over in our minds constantly. That's the stuff that could be manifesting the results you're seeing. The judgments we sit in on a regular basis. The person that you won't forgive. If you're turning this stuff over and over again, it's perpetuating your experience. Is it producing the results that you want? And if it's not producing the results that you want, are you willing to do the tough work of taking back your focus, reducing and or eliminating the distractions in your life, putting your attention and your high states of emotional being in the space of what you want to create and doing it on a regular basis so that you can see new results? Let's see what you guys are saying. Okay. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Morning Talks with Ro. Thank you for joining the conversation. We are in here getting it in. If you missed the story that I shared about my friend, go back and watch the top of the video. Let's see. Good morning, LaShonda. Shia says, I've been focused on not subconsciously telling myself it's not too late to be a change. Well, I'm sorry, honey. To be a great dad. Not too late for love. Not too late for my goals. That's right, honey. And in changing my thoughts, I've been more consistent with all three. Bless up. Learning no matter how talented or blessed, my habits will make my future. You better speak, Personal Power University alumni. Woohoo! Yes, yes, yes. It's easy to fall, DZ says, into a negative headspace sometimes when something doesn't go as you planned. What would you say would you say are some good techniques to snap out of it quick and omit these thoughts while in that mood? You know what, DZ? I say get very clear in those times that you're not frustrated about what you really want. Get very clear. Write it down. Put it in plain English. Put it on something you can see that you can keep coming back to, because we are, as Shias just shared with us so lovingly, creatures of habit. And yes, it is easy for things to distract us, and especially if we've been in a pattern of negative thinking for so long, if we've been in a pattern of allowing other things and other people's agendas to take our attention away from our own, we've got to go back each time, speak it into existence each time, get back on an affirmation that empowers you and can bridge the gap from where you are to where you're going each time. We've got to program ourselves and condition our mindsets over and over and over again until it becomes a default thing that you do. I remember when I used to have negative thoughts, and I used to have morbid thoughts, okay? And I used to think like it could be a car accident or something crazy where I'd be like, why is my mind going in that direction? What is that? Right? What is that? So I started to and let me say this too. This is something that's coming up in the lesson plan for my students. There's something that, even if it's negative, if you get a charge, an energy surge, something that makes you feel stimulated by it. Gossip does it all the time, right? Even though we know gossip can be a negative thing, even though we know gossip can start, a chain reaction of negative events, right? It still gives you a charge to engage in it. It still gives you stimulation, right? To engage in it. So something that gives you stimulation, even if it's a negative stimuli, you might still gravitate towards it because it makes you feel more alive. Okay? So you got to rewire yourself to get off on peaceful thoughts. You got to rewire yourself to get off on joyful thoughts. You got to rewire yourself to get off on empowerment. You feel me? Like everything comes back to habit. Everything comes back to the patterns we've allowed ourselves to be in. Everything comes back to what we've conditioned ourselves or unconsciously allowed ourselves to be conditioned with. So now that you're conscious, now that you're aware that you've allowed this, now we have to deliberately create from another space. So when I used to have those morbid thoughts, coming back to that example, then I changed my, in the moment, I would shut it down. And I would completely change my attention. Either I would change what I was giving my attention to, or I would change what I was giving my attention to. I would change my language, either what I'm talking about or how I'm talking about something. And then I would do something different with my body or do something different with my focus. Whatever it is, I would change it in a moment. That was very difficult because I was getting stimulation from the negative stimuli, even though it wasn't serving me. So it was difficult for me to go, I want to finish that thought. But I was like, you got to stop that. It's not serving you. It's destructive thinking. So I would do the hard work. All of this is internal work. This is where success comes from. I would shut down the thought and I would put my thought on something else. And even though I had this urge that was trying to pull me back to that negative place, I refused to go back. I just would shut it down, and I would deal with the uncomfortable feeling of not going back to the negative stimuli until it became a habit to not even be attracted to that anymore. It's very interesting. I want to know your thoughts on what I just shared with you. Let's see what else you guys are saying. Agree, true story. LaShonda says, I visualize positive results no matter what. Small and big things like a vivid movie. Yes. Joseph, welcome to the conversation. Good morning. How are you doing today? Is all well with you? Yes, it is. Do you accept preaching engagements? I'm not a preacher, more a motivational or inspirational speaker. I don't know. Maybe I need to come up with a name for myself, but you can reach out to me at askrho@gmail.com, ASKRHO@gmail.com. Marcus says, thank you for the inquiry. Yes. Throw the garbage out. Hello. Sherry Sterling says she loves this. Great morning to you, Taz. Hey, PPU alumni. Powerful message. Yes, it is. Isn't it, Trey? What's my link for what, LaShonda? It's hard, but it's worth the fight. Heck yes. Oh, beautiful, DZ. I see you spoke on it. Philip says, hello to the beautiful Miss Rhona. Thank you. I'm loving the new In Vogue music. Thank you. I love your empowering messages, and I'm a fan of yours. This is Philip from Indianapolis. Thank you, Philip. Hey, Philip. Troy. Thank you, Troy. Oh, I'm so glad. Love you back, Dixon. I'm so glad you guys are getting great value from this conversation, because I know it's powerful. I know this stuff is powerful. This is why it drives me so much. This is why I have so much passion for it. And this is why it brings me joy to share it with others and watch them make the transformation. It's powerful. This is how we liberate ourselves from all of this crap that's going on out here, from all the garbage that's going around. We got to disassociate from that stuff. And I know it's hard. I know it's difficult. That's why I'm sharing with you some of the ways that I've had to break away from negative patterns. I know it's real out here in these streets. But you got to do it. And the only way to do it is to do what's hard. Do what's difficult. Stop yourself in the moment. Change what you're talking about or how you're talking about it. Shift your focus and attention to something else completely, or change what you're giving your attention to about the subject matter. But you have to shift in the moment. And if you do those things simultaneously, especially if you include changing your physiology, doing something different with your body in the moment, change your focus, change your language, change what you're doing with your body. If you do those things simultaneously, what you're dealing with in the moment must change. It must shift, because you're not even giving attention to it anymore. And it may be difficult because you're so used to getting stimulation off of negative stimuli that you might be attracted to going back and finishing whatever it was. But shut it down. That's how you start to recondition yourself. And then get very clear. Write it down, folks, because we forget. And there's so much out here distracting us, telling us something else, reprogramming, reconditioning us, perpetuating the conditioning and programming that's out here, telling you you're not enough, telling you you can't have it, telling us to race war, telling us to whatever this negative stuff is out here that's distracting you from the real. Shut it down. Shut it down. And the way you shut it down is get very clear about what you want. Don't let and if your belief system doesn't match where you're going, get your belief up. Get yourself a coach. Go find mentors. If come see me, go on YouTube. It's too much stuff out here to support you now. It's just a matter of going out there and getting it. And then being consistent and persistent about getting it. Every day we're creatures of habit. You got to do it. If you want to see the results and you want to see change, it's coming at you every day, right? So we got to go hard in the paint every day, mentally, spiritually, nurture yourself. And if you fall off, get back on. We're human. Get back on, but get back on. Okay, what are you guys saying before I get out of here? Shifting to high gear, such a blessing. You're welcome, Marcus. Meditation is how you charge. Beautiful, Dixon, beautiful. You're speaking to me this morning and you receive it. Beautiful, Dana. Thank you. You have now no idea how much I need this right now. And we're playing the new In Vogue joint. Yeah, thank you, honey. Thank you. Rock it, you guys. Request it. Thank you, Amber. Oh, thank you, guys. Okay, let's see. I love the love. I love it. I see it. Okay, let's see. You guys have any questions of me before I get out of here? About today's topic? We really chopped it up. Got some good stuff out there. John, sister, you are an inspiration. Have you checked out that book? It's on the slate to be checked out. I have so many things that I need to check out, that I need to read, that I need to consume. My goodness, but thank you so much. It's coming. Choose church. Mia feels empowered. Mila, hey Mila. Give her a big kiss and hug for me, Amber. Hey, baby girl. I'm glad that you are in my tribe, Shirley. And Joseph says, I just want to thank you for your kindness and caring spirit. People don't have to care, nor do they. Oh, I have to take the time to empower others. Thank you. Oh, my goodness. You're welcome, Joseph, and thank you for that beautiful message. Hey, April. Daniel says, what is my most challenging habit to overcome as I try to continuously live this truth I'm teaching? What is my most challenging habit to overcome? You know, because I've been doing the work for a pretty significant amount of time at this point, I don't know one main challenge is bubbling to my surface right now. Let me think about that. Maybe something's going to pop up. I think at times I have challenges and I have to pull myself back into alignment with what I feel is best for me, or what will work best for me in the moment. Sometimes I have a worry wart that might jump on me, but I go to I go to my support system. If I can't always pull Ro up, I'm like, yo, I'm having this moment right now. And they remind me of who I am, or they remind me of my own stuff, or they share with me through their own teaching the things that need to be brought back up to my conscious awareness. And I say, thank you. That's right. You know, so I have challenges, but they vary, but they're probably rooted in emotions that everybody deals with. Doubt, worry, fear sometimes. Those, you know what I mean? I have those moments. And if something in particular comes up, I'll definitely share it. Thank you for that great question. Michael says, thank you for the positive energy. Awesome. Thank you, Shias. Okay, you guys. Today's talk, truth and change can be uncomfortable, but that's when you know it's happening, because you aren't in that comfort zone anymore. That's right. Go ahead and get comfortable with being uncomfortable because great change usually comes from that space. Thank you so much for joining the conversation, everybody. Thank you for sharing and being open and authentic. Thank you for being willing to support each other in this space. Thank you for being willing to be a love warrior out there. We need them. You know what I mean? Being a change agent, we need them. Not necessarily rolling with the status quo, what's popular, you know, not necessarily jumping in and being negative or, you know, whatever. And knowing that it's a collective thing. It's not just because we're Pollyanna-ing it, you know what I mean? Because you know how powerful being empowered, positive, authentic, all of those things are. Visualization, where you put your energy, how it can come back to you, giving, all of that stuff. It's powerful. It's powerful. Powerful. Yes, I like that. Hashtag love warrior. Bless up, Amber. I love you. Marcus, I'll see you tonight in class. All right, I'm sending love to you guys. Thank you for tuning in today. If you missed the story I shared earlier, please, please, please check it out. It's about visualization, real time, real story. A friend of mine just went through it. Okay? We can use it for good and negative. How are you using it? How are you using it? And are you being consistent and persistent with whatever it is that you are turning over in your mind on a regular basis? Whatever it is you're turning over in your mouth on a regular basis. What is it? Is it empowering you or disempowering you? Is it propelling you towards your goals or shutting you down? Are you focused on other people's agendas or your own? Are you pulling your focus back or are you distracted? All of these things make a difference. The success that we're looking for usually 90% inside job. Okay, bless up. I'll see you guys next week.